Hi, welcome to Buzz, Midwest Underground Business Voice. I'm here with Katherine Semmes in Cinnamon Realty. Now, every time I go to a networking event or every time we go to one of our events, there's always a realtor there. And I know a lot of realtors using networking to really grow their business and a lot of realtors not using networking to grow their business. But you have done one of the smartest things I've seen out of the gate, and that is create a niche for yourself. Mm-hmm. And your niche is the senior market.
That's right.
Now, how did you get into that?
Well, Tony, I have over 10 years of experience as a social worker working in the healthcare area, hospital discharge planning,
wow,
and counseling in the hospice industry.
Wow.
So I have a lot of experience working with seniors and working with them as it relates to their changing needs in their living situation.
So, and because that's got to be a pretty delicate conversation to have, right?
It is.
And so, that is so much more than, here's the kitchen, here's the living room. That is about having that conversation about, hey, if you look at a ranch, there's not as many steps, there's less chances to fall down, and being able to do that without effectively hurting someone's ego. Mm-hmm. That takes there's some mental horsepower there to make that conversation, right?
Well, yes, it is something that requires some skill, such as you would have as a counselor.
Amen. So great niche. Okay, I'm thinking that you're looking to network with these senior healthcare facilities. I mean, the bridge back and forth, the financial planners that maybe are dealing with boomers.
Yeah, absolutely. My training as a seniors real estate specialist is to work with the population that's 50 and older.
Okay.
So obviously, the younger end of that group, they're just now planning for retirement.
Sure.
They may be actually looking for a vacation home, not the last home they're going to live in.
Okay, so maybe the empty nesting, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. They're looking to downsize. Some of them are saying, this is the last house I'm going to buy, so it better meet my needs today and 20 years from now.
So they're downsizing, they're snowbirding, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So they're realizing, man, maybe we don't need a 2-story. The hip. I just had the hip replaced,
yes.
Right? That kind of conversation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You can have that with them and make them still be okay. I mean, that's pretty powerful. What are some of the things? What else would you say makes you different? I mean, now we were talking about before we went on the show is that you're an investor.
Yes, I have invested in real estate. My husband and I jointly own some rental properties,
sure,
both single family homes as well as some condominiums.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of experience in real estate, not just as an agent, but as a buyer and a seller of real estate.
And I tell you, one of the reasons I think that's so important is because if the market's not real good right now for selling your home, but it's pretty darn good for renting it.
Yes.
And
yes.
How do you find them? What do you do to have someone to advise you on how to just get a good lease done? And where to go to find it.
Absolutely.
And maybe the positives and the negatives on whether or not you want to rent your old home. That's pretty powerful.
Well, I think so.
Yeah, awesome. So what does your ideal client look like?
Oh my, there's kind of a range. I would say one would be the 50-plus individual who is looking to downsize. The kids are grown. The house is too big. They want to sell it and take that equity and pay cash for a new home, and now they have no house payment.
Nice.
So they're doing it as a part of a retirement planning.
Sure.
The other is the little bit older buyer or seller who is ready to move into a place that more suits their physical needs.
Okay.
Like you mentioned before,
sure,
a ranch all on one level.
Yeah.
Or maybe a patio home where there's no exterior maintenance to have to deal with.
Yeah, they got someone to take care of the lawn and everything. Right. So I'm thinking the type of strategic relationships that would be good for you are maybe an estate lawyer.
Yes.
Okay. I'm thinking maybe someone who does reverse mortgages might be good.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes.
I would think somebody too that is maybe doing college planning, because if they're starting to do that college planning, maybe they're even doing some. That might be a little too early, but at least maybe they're thinking about empty nesting, right?
Right.
maybe somebody who's doing even travel consulting about people looking to vacation because they're in their retirement years, right?
Right.
But anybody doing retirement consulting, it's got to be a pretty good referral for you, right?
I think so. Anyone who's working with people that are planning for their retirement. Also, there are the children of elderly parents who have now entered a nursing home.
Yeah.
And they're left with, what do we do with the family home? We need to sell that.
Yeah.
And that can be a really emotional and difficult process.
Yeah, and you pretty much have to be a social worker to manage that relationship,
You do,
right?
yeah.
So Katherine, just summing up, I mean, you know how to talk to them, you know how to have that conversation, you've got the education in the background to do it, you're an investor yourself, you know the ins and outs. I mean, those are some pretty significant unfair advantages when you go to sell and get a buyer or a seller for a home. Hey, I love it. You've been buzzed.
Thanks.
Thank you. Awesome.